Ah, so kind words from Gorka, supportive words from Gorka. I thought that was rather sweet, Janet.
I think he meant it well, but I found it a bit cringy and patronising, I've got to say.
Did you?
Yes, I think
Why?
she's had a bad time, and it would have been good to say all those things to her privately, but I think also the most important thing for her right now is to find herself, to rebuild her confidence, and in the first instance she'll do that with her girlfriends and her close friends, and then secondly she's got to relearn her self-confidence, and only she can do that. And I think someone meaning it well on television, I just feel really uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, and I don't know whether or not she knew he was going to say it. Maybe he just had a moment of being overwhelmed by that moment. And because actually you spend a lot of time with your dance partner, as I know, and she might have confided in him, and maybe he just had that moment because she is very self-deprecating, isn't she? She pulls herself up very quickly if she does something wrong in the dance, and maybe he just thought...
And it has been very public. It's been all over the newspapers, hasn't it?
I thought it was gorgeous. I think he's gorgeous, but I thought it was a really nice thing to do, and actually very nice to do in public as well, because he probably wants the rest of the nation to know who his partner is and what she's going through, because she will have been very honest with him probably. You know, she's spending a lot of time with him, but also it is that feeling, you know, when you come out of a relationship, especially one that ends, you know, as badly as hers did, you do lose your self-confidence and you lose yourself.
Have you felt that?
Oh, my God, massively, yeah. And probably not at the time even realised, because you're dealing... It is a sense of loss. It's grief, really. You know, you've lost somebody that you've thought you were going to spend your life with, only that you haven't lost them. They're still there. It's even worse in some respects because they're round the corner carrying on their life, and you're left to kind of pick up the pieces of your heart. And it is really hard, and friends are important to boost you again and your self-esteem. But you're right, that has to come from you in the end. I mean, for me, it was therapy for me. You know, I went to therapy. I lost all my self-esteem, especially after the second one, because then you go, oh, it's happened again. You know, even though it was my choice to leave, it was still hard. And I didn't think I was damaged until I started dating again. And then when I started dating again, I thought, oh, I'm really quite damaged from the past, just in the belief of myself, and you know, started dating guys that were my type, but my type weren't good for me. Do you know what I mean? I was reverting to type, and I thought, why am I pushing that away and accepting somebody that's going to treat me just as bad?
I think knowing you over the last 10 years, as things got really bad for you, your personality and you shrank into yourself, and you weren't yourself, and you've come back out. But it's been a real struggle for you to discover what the, you know, people talk this rubbish now about my truth and my journey and all of this, but you had to find what makes you happy and the person that would complement that. And
I think you have to start believing that it wasn't...
You have to like yourself.
You have to stop blaming yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I blamed myself a lot, you know.
Well, that's not surprising, is it?
Why?
Well, I don't mean that in a horrible way, but when two relationships fail, you kind of think there is that temptation to say it's something I did. I mean, even I've had to learn that.
Again.
It's not my fault. I mean, you know, I would go as far as to say it's never your fault. It's never all the fault. There's no fault involved.
No fault involved, I know. But I have to say that being an agony aunt now as well, which helped me a lot, actually, because when I was getting letters from people and giving them, you know, in my opinion, what I thought was good advice, I used to sit there and go, why are you not listening to your own advice?
Yeah.
And I started to, and that helped. And I always tell people, please go and get counselling or therapy, because I can't explain why it helps, but it really does. And, you know, it's really, really helped me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. I think talking to friends, like Janet said, talking to friends, my girlfriends are a great kind of sounding board, but they have an agenda because they love you, don't they? So they go, yes, he's a this and he's a that, and it's not your fault, it's his fault. But actually, sometimes talking to somebody who doesn't know either of you, and you just exploring your own feelings, you come to your own conclusions, really, don't you, if you speak to a therapist of any sort. But thank you, Colleen, for sharing that with us.
Oh, it's all right, I share everything on air. She does. I'll read about it next week.
We're talking
in
about
some magazine.
relationships. We're staying on that theme, actually, because could bad spelling be ruining your chance of finding the one? It turns out over 2/3 of singletons are turned off by poorly written messages in the early stages of dating. I would be. If someone sent me a really badly spelt with no grammar and apostrophes, kind of, even if it was a love message, it would give me the ick, as the young people say.
OK, so we have to park to one side here dyslexia.
Of course.
Yeah.
Dyslexia is parked over here. We are talking about people that just can't spell. And for me, it's a bit... I mean, you know, we all misspell certain things, but there are fundamental basics that I see more and more now, actually, and I get quite depressed because I think, at bare minimum, they've spent 12 years in the British education system and somebody has not told them that, you know, we are going there is not T-H-E-I-R. No, but we laugh, but it's like, if there's a right and a wrong way to spell something, teach kids the right way. Not the wrong
Jane,
way.
you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is.
Oh, no, you're not doing this.
I am.
No.
I'm doing a little spelling test over the break. I'll give you time over the break. OK, so
like
4 words. Have a look at the 4 words on the screen. Right, you don't have to spell them.
I can't even see the screen.
You have to tell me the word that is spelt incorrectly.
I can tell you straight away.
Don't tell me now, Jane. Incorrectly. OK, you're going to have about 3 minutes over the break.
I can tell you straight away.
To work it out. Colin's still looking. So you keep looking, Colin.
Hate people like them at school.
And I got it.
Easy.
Miss, I've got it. I've got it.